On Wednesday of this week, Republican Representative Lauren Boebert showed her true stupidity when she tweeted out the following. She said, "It's not the federal government's job to save my life. It's their job to stay out of it." Boom, drop the mic, right, Lauren? You know, if this was coming from somebody who wasn't a member of a political party that is so obsessed with other people's genitals, maybe it might have a little more impact. But let's not forget, Lauren, that your party is the party that is obsessed with what is in people's pants. They're not staying out of people's lives. They're literally trying to get in their pants. You know, we have all those laws pushed by Republicans about transgender athletes, allowing for checks of the genitals of student athletes, just to make sure, right? And of course, you're the ones obsessed with who's going into which public bathroom. And let's not forget the government needs to stay out of your lives. Well, you need to tell that to the Republicans in Texas and Mississippi and Kansas with all of these restrictive reproductive health bills that say a woman can't choose what she wants to do with her own body, and instead the government's going to tell her what she can or can't do. You see, Lauren, your party is in fact the party of big government. Your party is the one of intrusive government into our daily personal lives. So you don't get to go out there and say the government has to stay out of our lives. That's what we conservatives believe, because no, it's not. You want the government involved in every single aspect of a person's anatomy. And I'm sorry, but the Democrats have never been that intrusive, ever. But back to your original claim, it's not the government's job to save your life. Actually, that is literally the job of the government. That is effectively the only real job the government has, is to protect you. Not just save your life, but to protect you. Whether it's protections against dangerous pharmaceuticals, dangerous consumer products, environmental problems, foreign enemies, threats at home and abroad, whatever you want to call it, it's the government's job to protect us from those things. It's the government's job to protect us from crumbling bridges, from roads filled with potholes that could easily cause a car accident. Everything the government does is done under the guise, and I'm not saying it all always works out this way, but it's done under the guise of protecting us. Everything can be traced back to protecting the American public. Even the things they lie about, like, oh, we're passing these voter suppression bills to protect you from voter fraud. Because protecting us is literally the job of the government, Lauren. And you're in the government. You're a sitting representative in the House of Representatives. And if you don't know what the basic role of the United States government is, then you shouldn't be serving in there. I know there's been lots of calls for Boebert's, expulsion, being kicked off committees and all that. But I would also add this tweet to it. If this woman fundamentally, as she is basically admitting in this tweet, doesn't understand what the government is supposed to do, then she shouldn't be a part of it. If you can't wrap your head around what your job is supposed to be, you shouldn't be able to keep it. I mean, if this was any business in the United States, if she was working at McDonald's and said, hey, it's not our job to serve you French fries. It's our job to make sure you don't choke. No. It's literally your job to give us the damn fries. Just like it's the job of the government to protect us. So if you can't wrap your head around that, I think that just adds to the growing list of reasons you should be kicked out of office.